Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and your availability questions concerning this watch. Today, a 2017 launch as part of an homage to the 1997 Royal Oak 25th Anniversary Collection. Now, what's odd is that in 1997, Audemars Piguet celebrated a quarter century of the original Royal Oak by launching a set of wildly colorful Royal Oak Offshores. And so, 20 years later, in 2017, Audemars, in turn, paid tribute to those with the Funky Color series. So, this watch right here is part of the 2017 Royal Oak Offshore Diver Funky Color series. Several different colors were available, all of them homage to 1997's Royal Oak Offshore editions. The one you see right here is a lime green, and along with the white dial back in 2017, this variant was an AP boutique exclusive. So it is a very charismatic watch. Audemars Piguet knew it had something special here. This is, of course, the reference 15710ST, 42 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It's 14.1 millimeters thick. If we just measure lug to lug across the case, it's going to be 53.8 millimeters. If we add these intermediate links, the plots as they're called, then it is 58.4 millimeters across the wrist. It's a big watch, but it's wearable, especially on this diver-style strap. The strap was originally introduced in the 2000s on the original divers, the Scubas, and the Vempe editions, and over time, everyone decided they loved this. They started ordering it for every other Royal Oak Offshore edition, but it is native to the divers, and so it looks right at home here. It also allows the watch to fit better than the same watch on a stiff hornback leather strap or bracelet. So if you've got a penchant for an offshore, but a smaller wrist like mine, this is the best scenario. The diver strap on a strap watch. And actually, because it's not a compound movement, it's not a modular chronograph, it's even thinner than most of the other offshores, so it won't fit underneath a tight dress cuff shirt. It will fit underneath a jacket. Taking a look down the barrel, I could actually endorse this for a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference. You can see I've got a little bit of clearance on each side of my wrist. So yeah, I could wear this on a slightly smaller wrist. And it feels good and it looks good. Taking a look at the buckle, really on a dive watch, you don't want to deal with a clasp. You want a buckle so you can quickly adjust on the fly. You can see a combination of polish, media blast, and satin on this AP branded pin buckle. The strap, as you can see, is in outstanding condition, Royal Oak Offshore and model specific. No crimping, no gouging, brand new factory strap. Part of why you buy a Royal Oak or a Royal Oak Offshore is the intricate hand finishing on the metalwork, and we have that here. You can see even the micro beveling on the crown guards is beautifully executed, and most importantly for this intricately detailed watch, intact. It has not been clumsily or excessively refinished. You can also see, and this is how it's supposed to be, that all of these bolts are still recessed below the plane of the bezel. That's very important to look for on a Royal Oak or an offshore. And of course, this being an offshore, these hex bolts, which are held in place by nuts, they are steel in this application versus gold on a standard Royal Oak. We also have the same hexagonal form on the polymer crown shoulder here, screw down crown, actually two of them. The watch is 300 meters water resistant. AP uses an internal rotating diving bezel, so you can line up that bezel index with the minute hand, and now you've got an impromptu 0 to 60 minute count up timer. And I actually prefer dive bezels to chronographs. I find them more convenient, easier to read, practical in that I rarely time anything over an hour, even with a chronograph, and you don't have the downstream service costs of a chronograph. So, taking a quick look in the dark, you can see that it is robustly luminescent, including all three hands, so you know whether your backup dive timer, for example, is running in the dark, which I think is important. Not every dive watch has a luminescent running seconds hand. Taking a look by day, you can see that one of the standout styling features of the Offshore, as opposed to the original Royal Oak, is that the gasket itself of the bezel is fully expressed, and you can see that this one is a prominent styling feature of the watch itself. Emmanuel Guet, a young designer at Audemars Piguet in the early 90s, designed the Offshore. Of course, Gerald Genta hated it because the revolutionary always becomes the institution. And so Genta designed the original Royal Oak in 1972, and then just about 20 years later, Guet designed the Royal Oak Offshore. And, you know, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Genta hated it. In fact, they've both become classics in their own right, the Royal Oak and the Royal Oak Offshore, but they play to different audiences. You can see this is a beautifully made dial. It's the Mega Tapisserie, the large hobnail. We have white gold hands and indices, so they won't oxidize or tarnish with time. Because it's not one of the chronographs up until relatively recently were always modular complications, so you would always see the date sunken deep into the date window. Here it's relatively close to the dial with a magnifier that's not on the crystal. Rolex should take note. You can also appreciate the combination of blue and neon green, which is a very effective combo. And then on the reverse side, you can see the Audemars Piguet in-house caliber 3120 bidirectional winding with ceramic bearings for efficiency. You can see it features the coats of arms of Audemars and Piguet families, reminding you that Audemars Piguet is the oldest Swiss watchmaker still owned and run by the founding family members. So 60-hour power reserve, 3 Hz beat rate. It has quickset and hacking, pivots on 40 joules, and it has a Batwing-like full balance bridge for shock resistance with a Gyromax-style free-sprung balance for the same reason, as well as for the sake of precise adjustment of timing via the variable inertia, eccentric masses on the balance rim. Lots to love, and again, a 60-hour power reserve, so even a little bit more than the Royal Oak Offshore chronographs with the same base movement. A lot of fun and very rare. I only see one of these every couple of years. So if you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.